I think we're live finally. This is our very first Facebook live event. So little introductions first of all. So we are hoping to do these fostering FAQ events every month, and it's the opportunity really for people who have perhaps considered fostering and want to know a little bit more information and kind of just watch and learn more about fostering and fostering progress. And fostering what that journey looks like from the very first moment you make that inquiry through to the assessment stages, and finally when you welcome a child into your home. So that's what these are going to be all about, really. So just to introduce us, do you want to go?
Yeah, I will. So I am Michelle. I am the fostering manager of the fostering team here at Progress. So I oversee the fostering team. So we've got 4 supervising social workers in the team, one of which is a practice lead. And we've also got some support workers. We've got therapists, and we've got our very own admin who we couldn't do without. So yeah, we're a small team. Obviously included in that team is Kirsty. She'll tell you a little bit about herself in a minute. But we're a small team, and the beauty of having a small team is that we all know each of us carers. We know all the children, the setup, the circumstances, and we're just kind of one big family, if you like, in the fostering community. So my job and my role here in the fostering team is just to oversee all of the social workers who oversee all of our foster carers and children, and just to make sure that all of our fostering homes are all compliant. So all of those essential checks are up to date. Those checks that are detailed within the fostering standards, so sort of DBS checks, health and safety in the home, make sure it's a safe environment for the young person that's living there, and just make sure that all foster carers are well. And yeah, I'm sure there's so much more that I know, but that's kind of a bit of a summary, if you like.
Yeah. And so myself, I have been with Progress for nearly 13 years now. Slowly become part of the furniture. So I'm kind of many guises, but I am now relationship manager for the fostering service, and that just means that I kind of oversee the recruitment function of fostering and see people through from their initial inquiry through to their assessment and their final journey of welcoming the child into your home. So we really facilitate that journey. But yeah, that's us in a nutshell, really. Yeah. So we're going to move. We're going to talk about. We've got a little bit of an agenda. We really want to make these as relaxed as possible, not really formal, giving you. So first of all, we wanted to discuss what are the actual essential requirements to being a foster carer.
I think for us working in fostering, and some of our team, the people around us take it for granted that everybody knows what is essential in fostering. So this is just a moment to really break that down and just send out the message and make it a bit clearer.
Yeah. So, I mean, to start off with age. So you must be at least 21 years of age to be a foster carer. And I think that's really because to be fostering requires emotional maturity,
Emotional intelligence, a little bit of life experience. It's always good, and a certain level of maturity.
Yeah. I mean, I think back to when I was 21 years old, when I was in university, living in halls of residence, so certainly didn't have those skills to be able to look after children, really on my own. But there is no upper age limit to fostering. Many of our foster carers, our successful foster carers, are in their 50s, 60s, even their 70s. And it's actually the ones that are in their 70s and have been with us for our entire journey for 25 years are actually our foster carers that people go to.
Yeah, ask advice, kind of buddy them up, don't we? Yeah. Some of the newer foster carers that are coming through. I think it's one of the myths to dispel. There's no upper age limit. And even if you didn't want to sort of go into full-time foster caring, in your 60s, maybe you're thinking, okay, the children have flown the nest now, I need a little bit of time to myself. I still want to offer, some support or care for a young person. You can do that in other ways, which we will come on to a little bit later on. There are lots of different areas of fostering, so it's not just your full-time placements.
And then the next essential requirement is having a spare bedroom. I get quite a lot of comments that we receive is, well, I haven't got a spare bedroom, but my children currently, I've got a child at home. They could share with my child, and it's well intentioned. It comes from a good place of people wanting to help and to become foster carers. However, that foster child needs their own bedroom.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, there's a lot of things that we would do when we're raising our own children that you're not able to if you become a foster carer. So essentially, we're looking after the child of the local authority, and there's just a certain set of requirements. So they need their own bedroom so that they've got their own personal space, their own privacy, a place where they can feel safe. So yeah, it is a requirement.
Just going through as well, if anybody's got any comments or wants to ask us any questions as we go along, please do pop them in the comments section, and we'll try and come to them. Hopefully we'll answer some as we actually go along as well. So the next essential requirement is the right to live and work in the UK, and that is just because a foster child needs stability. Without that risk of sudden disruption that would come from visa or residency issues. Is there anything else that I need to cover?
No, I don't think so. I mean, yeah, just what you said, it's the consistency, the stability.
Yeah. So the next few really, stable home environment, and I think it's kind of important to say that you don't have to own a home to be a foster parent. You can rent a home as long as you are able to offer a safe, clean and suitable environment for children. Then that is what is most important. It doesn't have to be a large home with several bedrooms.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as the child's got everything in that home to meet their needs, everything that a child within a family would have, that's fine. All I would say is you will need some sort of confirmation from your tenants that they are allowing you to use their property for you to foster a child.
And obviously, we also do health and safety checks as part of the approval process as well. All that needs to come into consideration. So a massive thing to be a foster carer, I think, is time, availability and stability. Fostering is a 24/7 commitment, but it just means that you need to be emotionally and practically available. There's schoolrooms, meetings, appointments. You need to be able to respond to the child's needs.
And a child that needs stability because they often come from environments that have been quite unstable, chaotic, neglectful, and I think that having that emotional availability as well for a child is really, really important. So it's not the practical availability, time, it's that emotional availability to be able to share time with that young person.
I think that comes nicely on to having a good physical and emotional health.
Yes. You need to be in a great frame of mind, you need to be well, because we know that to look after somebody else, you need to be well in yourself.
You need to be emotionally stable to be able to provide that stability to a child. So, ability to work as part of a professional team. Foster carers are self-employed, so we work in partnership with our foster carers. But fostering, it's actually a team effort, isn't it? So communication is very important. We'll be working closely, not just with the internal team, but also external people such as social workers, schools, therapists, and even birth families. So, work as part of that wraparound team around a child is really important.
That's it. And I mean, part of that also means that you'll have that support around you too, so you won't be left, to muddle through or to sort of, it can be quite stressful, so you won't be left alone. We've got therapists and people around to support you and to support that placement.
And also, I think having a care resilient and reflective personality. Yeah. I mean, I think that comes in, I mean, when you think of foster care, you think of care. So
Yeah.
to have that sort of personality that you want to provide. Yeah, the best outcomes for children, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Having that there to begin with, and that, that desire to care for a child. Some of the other things might come with experience, the reflecting within the support that you will get as a foster carer. We encourage the reflecting, and that helps your development and things like that.
Yeah, and part of the process as well is that you would have background and safety checks. So enhanced DBS would be done as part of that process. It's important to say that that goes along with other adults in your home, and that's just to ensure the children's safety. And you also have references and local authority checks as part of as well. But that's something that we'll go into in kind of the assessment part of the discussion. So that's really what I want to say for that. Essential requirements wise.
I mean, I would say that your DBS checks, they're very important, but if there is something that might come back on your DBS check that was from 20 years old, when you decided to get involved with the wrong group of friends or something, it won't be necessarily held against you, as long as you can reflect and look at sort of where things went wrong and you've learned from those things, then you won't be ruled out.
You won't be penalised. Yeah. So what we wanted to do now is we wanted to go over a few of the frequently asked questions that we get asked quite a lot. And it's before you make that decision to actually think, yes, I'm ready, I want to make that inquiry to become a foster carer. So the first one I've got on my list, and please, if you've got any that you want to add into the comments as well, please do. And we'll try and answer them as we go along. This one that was actually come up quite recently for myself is, can you foster if you are single? Absolutely.
Families come in all shapes and sizes these days, don't they? And there's absolutely no reason. Again, going back to the qualities and the skills and things like that, I think it comes down to that, the time, emotional availability. As long as you've got all of that, there's no problem.
So also, I think we might have covered this previously when we were speaking about it, but why you need a spare bedroom as well, because with it being essential, a lot of the time people are saying, oh, I've been told that I can't foster because I haven't got a spare bedroom, but they can share when I just want to help. But that is absolutely a necessity. Just to provide, if you think of a child that has gone through all that trauma and being being removed from their home and what they see as normal, they're going to need their own space to be able to process those things.
And I think even if your own children might be sharing a room at that particular time and you have got a spare room, in effect, when you want to embark on a fostering journey, I think it's really important to remember that there might be a time, not so far into the future, that your own birth children might want their own bedroom, so then that bedroom will be taken up. Because I think as children grow older, they will need some space. Go through the teenage years and adolescence, it can be difficult for everyone. So I think again that needs to be taken into consideration.
We've had a comment to ask, if you have your own children, are you able to choose to support children around their ages? So that goes along matching, doesn't it, of birth children?
I mean, you certainly can, and there's no harm in possible to say you can't, but I think it's taking things into consideration. So if you've got, if you've got an 8-year-old and you're looking to replace an 8-year-old, is there going to be some rivalry? What are the challenges going to be? Sometimes we have seen it be a little bit easier if you've got a younger child than having a bit of an older child, because they're a little bit more independent. So you can spend time with that older child once the little one's gone to bed. There are lots of things to consider. It's not to rule it out, but it just needs a lot of thinking.
It just depends on what your family dynamics are. All family setups are really different, so it's all children are different. Thinking about my own children, I know that they really like having older cousins and someone that they can look up to. So sometimes having younger children and then a teenager in the household actually works. It's dependent on Yeah, it's depending on your own family
Yeah.
isn't it really? One of the ones on my list is, can you foster if you have pets? Yeah, you certainly can. So, I mean, we have foster carer that actually,
Yes, she had 12
oh,
chocolate.
Labradors, because she bred these, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, they were a lovely sort of therapeutic age for the children that were placed with her, and I actually bred them for therapeutic purposes as well. And we put robust sort of pet assessments in place to ensure that everything's safe, including risk assessments. All I would say is dogs on on the list of dangerous dogs. We don't accept to be a foster carer, and that's for obvious reasons. But yeah, we've got lots of foster carers with different pets. We've had tortoises, cats, dogs. Gosh, I can't think rabbits, guinea pigs. Yeah,
It's also important to remember that some of the children coming into care have actually experienced having a pet before, so it can be a really positive experience. But then again, it can come as a negative as well, because there's some children that are actually scared of animals as well.
Yeah.
So again, that goes with the matching of placements and making sure that that is correct at the time of welcoming the child into your home as well. We've covered that one. So can you foster if you don't own your home? Yeah. And can you foster if you have birth children living at home?
yes, you can.
Yeah. So I think in terms of before you make an inquiry, those are some of the main ones that we consider. We may go into more at another time. Just I know that we've been around for so I just wanted to take a moment now to discuss the first two kind of real stages of the process, and the first one being making the actual inquiry to become a foster carer. So that first contact that you make with either local authority or independent fostering agency. So the first contact you make with Progress to become a foster carer for us, and that would either be from responding to one of our Facebook campaigns, or over the phone or via email. And what would happen is, if you have said that you are happy to be contacted by us to talk about fostering with us, is we would then make what is called an inquiry. So we would give you a call and go through a little bit of a questionnaire type thing, just to make sure that you tick the boxes of the essential requirements to fostering. So it's just an initial kind of discussion as to what your motivations are, why you want to foster, and kind of what your family setup is at the moment. And then if you're happy then, that's when you would then be booked in for kind of an initial.
So the initial visit is undertaken by the lovely Kirsty. And it's another set of questions, but they go a little bit more in depth this time. So we'll be looking again at your motivation to want to foster. We'll be looking at the family dynamics, your background. We'll be looking at your skills and experience. We'll be looking at whether you're a car driver. We'll be talking about the DBS application. It's important to just be open and transparent. It's a lot easier. You know, we all know what we're working with then. What else is included in that?
It goes into family background, and it delves a little bit more into what your motivations are, and maybe what your experience has been previously, and what skills you could actually bring to the fostering.
I understand at the moment about fostering and looked after children. Why looked after children come into care? There's lots and lots of different reasons, and it just helps us gain a bit of an understanding about your understanding. And then we sometimes do that over a Teams call. And that will always be followed up with sort of, if you are successful with a home visit, so that we can just see your physical home environment, just to make sure that it's a safe, clean space to care for a child. So Yeah, we'll just be looking at those different areas, your spare fostering bedroom, your garden, things like that. Once that's all completed, it then normally comes to yourself. I'll look all through that and ask additional questions if need be. Sometimes Kirsty might come back and ask some questions. If not, and if it's successful, I'll sign that off. Then that is the next stage, which we won't go into now because that's a story for our
next one. But yeah, it's also important to say that I think during COVID, that's when a lot of the kind of initial visit stages went online. Now, trying our best to kind of, if we can visit you in your home and get comfortable with having that initial visit in your home, then we would much prefer having that face to face.
A lot of things you can get from a face-to-face contact that you can't with Teams.
But yeah, so I think that's in kind of a nutshell the beginning stages of the fostering process, going through from those initial thoughts and considerations through to inquiry and then through to the initial visit. This Facebook Live, you'll be able to see and access it at a later stage as well. Thank you. Bye bye.